Count them. 4.
We've reached the point that TOS ran its course. And there's still more to go. Oh. Season 4, TNG. And once again, guys, I have my blue TNG uniform right there. My high-end one. $30. And we'll go to the review. Starts off with me. Unless you speak, I guess, call Stuart out. But for 2, Stuart's jump in TNG. And look very fancy. As he does do. It's kind of quirky to be. It's fun. It's nice to be. TNG the TNGing.
Yeah. Hold on a second here.
Oh. How's everyone doing today? What should the poll be, as everyone likes the poll?
Hope you're well.
Yes. How does game play work, Stuart? My man.
Well, super chat in $5. Let us know the episode you want us to look at, talk about, discuss, review, rank, whatever. We will do so, and hopefully have a good discussion along the way, including you guys in the regular chat. Hold on a second. Talk to the people.
Yes. So yes, TNG season 4. We did season 3 yesterday when there was a lot of interesting things. The tone had gone up. Season 4 now, the dust has settled on the quality of TNG. They can just have fun with it, and maybe it'll be some of the best of Trek. Right? Maybe. Don't know. Let's find out as you guys insist on us. You can skip the bad ones, skip the good ones, make us analyze, etc., and just have some fun doing some TNG discussion. And things have contrast when you start putting them in the chart. You realise, how do you really feel? You know? So I like not getting an order, because you create a randomness that actually creates, I think, an order of like, oh, well, that's there equals that, and yeah. Gonna start a poll.
Start a poll. Guys, hit the like button. 13 of you here. That's fantastic. 7 likes. Let's get those likes up to at least 15. Should be no problem at all. And yeah, hopefully we have a good discussion today, a good time with all of you. And hit like, super chat in, make sure you're subscribed. You know, all of the things you need to do. Don't tell me you don't. All right. Dan Ben says, I don't like the Robin Hood episode, and I don't like the episode family. Teach their own, man.
That is how the game is played.
All right, which part of both worlds is the best? Part 1, the Borg becoming fire. Part 2, sleep data. We win. It's really funny, actually.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to go share around. Put some things in. Let's get going.
Yes, indeed. So I've already said hit like. I've already said make sure you're subscribed to do all those things. But there is a join button down there. You can join the channel here on YouTube, or you can join us over on Patreon at patreon.com/Trekyards. Go check out the perks and things. You can get your name in all the credits, be assigned a ship, be a captain of a ship as well in our closing credits. So look at the options for that. If you are interested in helping us out, we appreciate it. But if you can't do a monthly thing, if you just want to throw in a $5 super chat here for one of the episodes, it all adds up. It all helps us out immensely. And you always select ones that we might not necessarily think is worth much of a discussion, but they in fact are. So yeah, we like to hear from you guys. Plus, just put your thoughts in the regular chat, or if you want to super chat in a thought, again, we appreciate it. Any super chats you can do are greatly appreciated. So, all right, that's my spiel. Also, there are links down below to the Teespring and the TeePublic store. Check those out. TeePublic has a lot of great stuff, and also some Trekyards merch as well. So if you were interested, check those out and maybe put some stuff in your cart. Hit like. I've already might be worth doing. Make sure you're subscribed. So I'd like to welcome you all back here, all 17 of you now. Again, only 10 likes, so if you're just joining us, hit the like button. Yeah, we will get into this just a second as soon as Sam is done sharing. But there are a lot of good episodes in season 4. This is kind of where TNG finds its legs. And I know Sam's going to ask me, Stuart, what do you think when you think of season 4? He asks me this all the time. Yesterday I told him I'm not going to have much to say to you about that after this. So let's see if he does it. He's not listening, so he's not aware that I'm saying this. But it's one of the first things he'll ask. And then I can jump off from there. But yeah, I don't know why it's taken so long to share this stuff, but it's just you and I here. So what are some of the episodes you guys enjoy from season 4? Throw them in the chat right now, or super chat in with them if you want us to talk about them. There are quite a few good ones, and it'll be fun to see what you guys think, if you guys agree with us, if you don't agree with us, and if you either don't agree or do agree, you can shuffle things around the board if you want. $5 a tier, you know. If you put something that you really like a little bit lower than you would have liked, you can change it and have final say in the final charts. So,
or if you just disagree and need us to know it, that works too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, where are we going first in this season 4 journey?
Classic for real. Champ that he is, throws in $5. Last day of the trip, but
was
here's
good.
5 for the episode that ended the cliffhanger of the Borg arc from season 3. Season 3's end. Season 2, episode 2, Family.
So we're jumping the end, Best of Both Worlds Part 2. Okay. Skipping right to the epilogue episode.
Yeah.
The breath.
Now, Family is actually a very well textured and interesting episode because you get Picard's family, his issues if he wants to stay in Starfleet, if he wants to do this new project, under the sea, under the sea, under the sea. And you also get Worf's parents coming on board, and you get to see some of that family dynamic. You also get Wesley dealing with his holographic dad, and the message for when he becomes old enough. So there's a lot of really well acted, really well performed. This is a great episode as far as character development. It took us away from the last episode, which was the wrap up of the Borg issue, which is high stakes. Are we going to lose Picard? This is very much him dealing with the effects of that and his PTSD a little bit, dealing with issues with his brother. There's a lot of layers here and a lot of really good drama, which I think is very well done. Not only just written well, but as a whole piece. Yes, it's not the most exciting episode, but there's multiple stories going on, all revolving around family, so the name is very apt. And it's a very interesting piece to watch. So, yeah.
And it's funny to say it's not got much action. We just had the 2-part of epic action. So it's like it makes sense. It's funny to put these things in context. This is not an in context episode. Like, this is not a funny to talk about it out of context, like as a single piece. This is designed to be part of the 3-parter, right? Like, if you watch this by itself, it'll be so dense and like, wow, this came out of nowhere. But that's not how 92% of people have ever watched it, and certainly at the time, it's made for that, you know. And thankfully, even though it's not necessarily 100% about Locutus, it's about everything else. You know, like he's physically fine. It could have done a bit more with that as well. It lets you breathe and sink in because it's such a traumatic thing, etc. Yeah, and I'm skimming this episode and it feels so sort of different. On location work is fresh and interesting and looks nice. The busyness of the ship, of all the different, like, there's so many different stories, like I say, happening. Great cast on the Worf's parents, just the right amount of weird and wonderful, and not quite sure how they dealt with the Klingon, and maybe they didn't quite deal with the Klingon. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, good for them. Mm-hmm. The plot line with Wesley is good. Certainly satisfying to see the dad with the terrible lack of, or the neck, I should say. But hey, comm badge, I guess. Sure. And yeah, practical sets. Of the mud bath scene, the mud fight scene is good. Super unusual. I'm sure I wonder if Patrick, like, part of his criterion, because if I recall, he does go on location more from this point onwards. Like that, like him and Beverly spent a whole episode out and about. I feel like he might have had like a discussion at some point saying, "I almost left. I'd like to do more out, a bit more real, not just bridge engage sets, right?" So this is very much like you got to breathe fresh air and do the real acting, you know. Definitely for Patrick this episode.
Yeah,
it's cool, and yeah, dense.
Yeah, it is dense, drama dense.
But it's I would say it's in the grand scale of the universe, it's weakened by generations because knowing they'll die in a fire for no reason makes the episode feel worse because it means they're all ghosts, and it's just it damages it for me personally. Whereas you could have had this be an amazing thing to, you know, say you didn't do that and have Renee Picard, you know, in Picard, right? You could have actually had elements to this carry over, but you killed everybody, so you couldn't. You know.
Yeah, as somebody said in the chat there, the events of generations make this episode hit harder because you get to know them.
Yeah, there you go.
They're in a fire, so
yeah.
So it's a good episode as far as Star Trek goes, though. I mean,
is it more melodrama? Is it more soap opera? Is it more all those things? Because there's almost no sci-fi in it, which is fine.
Yeah. It's a very humanizing episode for a lot of our characters, and very relatable to probably a lot more people that watch it. So it's a great episode of television, but I don't know how it falls on the chart of this season of Star Trek.
I mean, it's such a unique piece of media. I was vibing A. I thought you were going to argue S, and I was going to try and pull you down to A. But I think it's because I remember the quality of the writing being so, like I said, textural, tangible, interesting. The pace is good. It's slow, but it's good, and it's so like everyone's in it, and it's a real ensemble piece, even though it's Picard focused. So I was like A for quality.
Yeah, and it grounds a lot of the characters too, because they're kind of humbled a little bit because they're not the one in command. They're not head of security. They're being embarrassed by their parents. They're being kind of lambasted by their brother. So it takes away.
A dick, but
it strips away all of the grandioseness of them. You get to see the human side, right?
Is this episode worse because of Picard season 2 and realizing that A, they just didn't talk about his brother, except he's off on college. Ugh. Then all the, because this is that house, right? Picard season 2. I just not talk about it. Sorry to bring it up.
Picard season 1 and 2 ruin everything.
But at least at the end of 3, he's a happy guy with a family, kind of, and
Yeah.
Like you need happy endings for characters, otherwise it's depressing, and forever damage the tone. No shocker.
Yeah.
Next.
All right, Mark Lawrence is next with $5. Galaxy's Child, time to sour the milk. That and the oh shit moment Geordi had when he realized Braun was accessing his program.
Oh shit! Into.
Yeah. So this is a every action has consequences, I guess, as an episode. Leah Brahms is coming aboard the Enterprise because of all of the engine modifications and things that Geordi has done to the Enterprise. They're impressed. What?
She's married.
That too. But yeah, she's coming on board. He's going to finally meet her. He assumes she's not married. He didn't even bother to ask or look it up. He tries
and the computer also didn't add that to the program.
Yeah.
Because she was flirting with him, kind of, previously.
Tries to romance her a bit. We get this plot of this alien attaching itself to the hull of the Enterprise because they ran into a pregnant alien who they accidentally killed.
Well, it was dying of it was couldn't get the baby free. They had to C-section it, which killed the mum. It was already dying, so it was a yeah.
So then the whole thing is that Geordi and Leah have to work together to get this thing off the Enterprise because it's draining all the power.
I mean, you can't get more sequel to.
No.
booby trap if you tried. Even similar sets, right? Because obviously,
yeah.
same costume, same set.
Yeah, so it's a Geordie character piece for sure. The Leo Brahms, it's good to get to know the real her. But yeah, I mean, there's a few problematic things. Like, yes, Geordie should have probably checked to see if she was married and not assumed anything. But yeah, it's a fun episode. Good sci-fi premise. I love the alien being. That whole premise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, this one's it's also one of the earliest uses of CG. Because those creatures are CG for a lot of it. And they're not, amazing, but yeah, pretty good. And this one I've always remembered because it was such an unusual thing to have the aliens be so alien yet effective. Like, Gomchu Tin Man was fine, but it was a pine cone, right? A glowing pine cone. This kind of felt like an alien life form, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, Leah Brahms, I remember watching this, not necessarily the first time, but the first time I remembered it, being like, she's a bit stick up her ass. That's weird. She was so nice last time. Which is it's a bold play for an episode, right? And I never noticed that Geordie hadn't struck out women. But to go into like, yeah, the one girl you really fancy, fake girls, it's such an interesting play to have it be such a shutdown. And he's not really redeemed at the end. It's actually played off, obviously, like, a bit inappropriate, blah, blah. And his almost date, which isn't a date, is fun. And him impressing her with all the technical stuff he's done, but her knowing the women better, It's almost like you've been inside of me, Geordie. What? My work? Oh. What? I remember that was a line there somewhere. And it's very rare, and I like that there's two in a row that they've done direct sequels in a time when syndication was the only thing, and you weren't expected to have watched every episode. These are two episodes that only work if you've seen the previous ones to the degree they're designed to. But that's why they work better. And we're going to start to see that now, I think, going on. There's actually sequels to stories. I really, really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is definitely above average. I think it's a good sequel. It's got some good moments. It doesn't hit, for me personally, the highest notes, but there's some seasons that do. But it's a darn solid piece of science fiction with some good character work, and as a sequel, it's pretty darn strong because it subverts expectations in a good way.
Yeah. Plus, we get some good Guinan and the Forge moments where she goes to her for advice.
Yeah.
For me, this is probably a B.
Yeah, I'd say lowish B, midish B. Yeah. Oh, I'm interested to see what else we get in B's and C's and D's and A's. Interesting. But any episode, guys. Any episode. Or if SP3 2 as well, you can £10, £10 to get 2 in. Yeah. As we often say, find us an F. Be the first, or if you want to... Because there might be an F. I'm not looking at the chart. There might be an F.
Well,
or there might not be. Dun dun dun.
Ozzy throws in $5.
Oh,
Thank you, Ozzy. Season 4, episode 12, The Wounded.
Mm-hmm. Stuart likes this one.
I do. It's a really good story. Is this captain going off his rocker? We get to meet Gul Dukat, not Gul Dukat, for the first time.
I had two shots this episode because you need sort of both.
Oh.
Yeah, because, they're different summaries, right?
Yeah. So yeah, Captain Maxwell, I believe his name is.
Maxwell Forrest. Or Forrest Maxwell. Maybe.
Doing what he thinks is correct, because the Cardassians are doing some shady shit. There's no actual real proof of this, and he's kind of taking it in his own hands because he knows the bureaucrats aren't going to take care of it. So he's destroying Cardassian ships in an attempt to, squash what they're doing. We find out that O'Brien served under him. We get some really good scenes between the two of them, and also I like the captain. I like Maxwell. He's a pretty nice guy. He is just a little delusional, I think, but he's also right. So it's a weird vibe that you get at the end of this, because the Cardassians know they're doing shady shit. Picard knows that the Cardassians are doing shady shit at the end, but it's not really said outright. There's some stuff in this that bothers me, because how the hell did Chief O'Brien not only get aboard what was the name of the ship? I can't even remember. The Phoenix? Anyway, he beams aboard, which is no problem. He's a transporter officer, he could find a way to do that. But then he also gets into the captain's ready room, which you would assume is right off of the bridge, without being questioned as to who the hell he is or why he's there. Small thing, but
not a small thing.
A big thing in another way, yeah. And the Cardassians. This is the first appearance of Mark Alamo, or whatever his name is.
Alamo. Mark Alamo.
Alamo, yes, as a Cardassian, and this kind of sets up their look, but not really, because this is like the brown leather, football outfit. Is this the one where they have the helmets?
Yep.
Yeah, which is kind of weird, but
they are fun though.
They are, yeah.
As sort of more silly they look, they are kind of fun. They're way more season 2 TNG.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so no, this is a fun episode. I think it's very well done, very good storytelling. There's that shady morality going on that you know what's going on with the Cardassians, but you can't officially do anything about it. So you kind of have to let them know that you know, and hopefully they will stop doing it.
Thanks,
I forget exactly what they're doing. I think they're taking supplying weapons to somebody that they're not supposed to be.
Well, I think they're doing weapons research, and there's like minerals that go into weapons directly, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is such an interesting one because they obviously knew, hey, we're going to do this arc. We're going to introduce these characters. We want to start a spin-off. Let's lead in. We've got this basic idea, We'll invent the Klingons, we'll invent the Cardassians, and then talk about a border war that happened the entire time of TNG that no one mentioned. And this is like their first time being nice after. It's like, what? So during season 1 there was a border war, there's a war. It's like, yep. It's like, okay. Huh.
Well, it ended like just prior to season 1.
Oh, I think it's still in season 1.
No, it's actually... No. I think there was still like some cleanup from skirmishes, but it's... Because that's why the Galaxy class was designed to be this way, because they just gone through all this stuff with the Cardassians, and now they have unprecedented peace, so they create the Galaxy class ships to
anyway, so heavy retcon, not really, but it's just odd because whatever. And yeah, certainly, a Keiko over Mars episode, famous little scenes of he's breaking and she's there and whatnot. Galore's great, beautiful models. Nebula class, again, beautiful models. Mark Lamo obviously owns the piece, and he's not Ducat, which is good. And commitment to the bit. They do quite a lot of people in makeup, and considering the makeup is not very different from the second appearance, I mean, they nailed it first time. It's just the costume that's lets it down, and the fact that we get like there is a certain element first time watching of, well, actually the Federation captain could be crazy. They could be, and he's just attacking X. They could be the play of it being a twist, right? The fact that it's not, the fact that not Ducat is being quite like, well, we have to do this and this. It's fun to see then the baddie on the bridge with our goodies. And as we'd said when we watched it, had this story been with Enterprise D, the moral would not be looking down upon you, Captain.
Yes, yeah.
It would be. It's just because our heroes are heroes. But yeah, this is a very, very unique war story with very, very unique texture. And to give it to O'Brien, I mean, he went from being the guy that's in some episodes to being Miles O'Brien. Like, one episode, he raises right to the top of guest actors. Yeah. And you wonder why he's going to DS9, because there's such just truth in this. Yeah. But, for goodness sake, they should show them bloody Nebula Bridge and not a shitty little set. Like, you can use the exact same sets, guys, just redress them slightly. Like, everything on his ship is a bit naff. It's very naff. But whatever.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Wow. For me, it's probably an A.
I agree. What do you think I was going to say?
What's the date?
Mark the date. Wow, what do you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say like a B or a C.
No, I mean, the writing is exquisite. And this is very much... It's because they introduced them in this episode as well. This is another... It could be any sci-fi show, any show. It could just be we made friends with the Russians, and here's a Russian. Like it works on a universal level, but introduces a villain that we know for later, and it's got some texture and some hit. It's very specific in its like universality.
Mm-hmm. Good.
You did have extra. We'll absolutely include that. Don't worry.
Data's Day. Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Tab extra. Actually, let's do that first before we get to
Okay.
Freely. Sorry, might as well get it out of the way because I might forget.
Sure thing, boss man.
Okay.
Lots of episodes here, guys. So put in for them. We got hour and a half.
Yes, Data's Day.
Hard one to summarize in a picture. So much going on.
And this is just a day in the life of Data, like from.
Oh, that's why it's called Data's Day. Oh.
Really?
No, I'm joking.
And he's basically writing a letter or sending a message to Professor Maddox about his day because they're still interested in him after the whole Measure of a Man thing. And so he's got Keiko's wedding on the horizon. He's going to be best man because he introduced them. He's got to learn how to dance. He's got to deal with this situation. And this is kind of a Lower Decks episode in a way, even though
that is a perfect call out. Yeah.
He's right there. We got the Vulcan that comes aboard, and she's, asking for troop deployments for like the neutral zone, checking Romulans, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he gets ordered to do certain things, and then Picard and this lady shuffle off to his ready room, and you don't really know what the hell's going on. And of course, at the end, you get the twist that she's a Romulan spy, has been in the Federation for years.
She must have hung out with O on the weekends.
O style, yeah. So that's a really great story. And if it hadn't been focused on Data, the whole episode, it would have been a really good story, I think. But you get little glimpses of it. So it feels like you're not in the loop, even though Data's kind of in the loop. She questions him on his security clearance. She asks him some questions to see if he can be trusted, this Vulcan lady. So there's a lot going on that way. And then you got all the personal stuff where he's dealing with this wedding, and he's trying to learn how to dance from the doctor. And I can't remember any of the specifics. I need to kind of scroll through here, but
there's so much in this episode.
Yeah.
So much. Except, obviously, Stuart, the most famous an important moment in this episode, the proof that there are child locks on systems.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. For grown-up children.
I'm confused.
Sorry for the picture. Oh, you can always see it. I forgot that live.
Oh, that's not how that works.
I'm saying his butt could easily be on a weapon control, because that's the weapon control.
Yeah, it would, but the computer's smart enough to realize that it's not.
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm saying. This proves that you can't accidentally fire torpedoes. Because this is a ridiculous thing to do to have your butt on a console. It's ridiculous. You're more professional than that, Riker. Come on. Or at least turn the console off. There's a button to make that blank. Right? Anyway.
No, I disagree on that fact. 100%.
Just trying to be a professional.
I know, and you're failing miserably.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this one's, again, hyper unique. It's a real adventure to scroll through it. Because you're like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, that. Very little of it lingers past this episode into my memory. Because there's so much. Worf looking for a present is a great little scene.
I get to see how the Replomat works.
Yeah. I never remember the Vulcan. She's boring as hell. She leaves no impression of any kind. And
she's a Romulan.
Well, yeah. But she looks better as a Romulan. Great guest actor for the Romulan. And he's a really good guest actor. Kind of wasted in this part because he's very, very, very subdued. I am underplaying this for menace. It's like, right, okay. But he's a great guest actor. The wedding's fun. Lots of Romulans, which I like. They like Romulans. Yeah, weird, fun, real day of life. You get an adventure aboard the ship. And no Troy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a little bit Troy. There's one bit Troy. Okay, good. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, you can see a wedding. It ends with the birth of a baby. While all this was going on, it just kind of shows all the shit that happens on a Galaxy class.
Honestly, they should have had one of these per season, or like every show.
From every character's perspective.
Well,
Yep.
well, that might have been a bit much. Well, I guess over the course of the show, but like.
Yeah, like Data this season, Riker next season.
Yeah, exactly. But can you imagine like Kim's day, Paris's day, Tuvok's day? That it would super. I mean, it would have been a bit, on the nose. This is the Quark's day episode. Rom's day. It's like okay.
Mm-hmm.
Archer's day. Just watching polo or auto polo all day. But it's such a fresh, interesting look. But I forget it as soon as I finish watching it. I'm like, oh, the wedding episode. As soon as it's gone. And the dancing, kind of.
Every time I watch it, I'm like, this is such a great episode. It's one of my favorite episodes. But you're right. When it comes, it's never really it's never mentioned or thought about later. I think it's so broken up and it's so non-high stakes, it seems, because you're not privy to all the stuff going on with the Vulcan.
Well, yeah, it all dilutes the main story so much that it has almost no... Like I said, I never remember the Romulan spy bit. In theory, that's a huge moment. I feel like most people would say either S or an A. I would say B, because I think the writing's better in A. I think that's the metric. Those are stronger, harder episodes. This is great, but not as good as either of them. And that's my rationale.
Yeah, no, I'll agree to that, yeah. I like the way you said that.
And it might be worth doing a ranked of unique episodes.
Yeah.
Because this Brothers, there are many. It's like, that's a one-off cool, remember me? Hyper unique, right? There's so many just really superbly interesting premises. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so now we'll get to the SP Freely. Sorry about the wait. 10 pounds. I personally think the following episode, Brothers, is one of the best of the season. The entire sequence of Data taking control of the Enterprise is superbly done. Superbly. All right, Brothers. Where are we here? There it is. I was trying to find the thumbnails for these, or the pictures. Yeah, this is a Brett Spiner episode, man. Starts out with these two brothers. One's sick, the other one's mad at him and hurt him or something, and he feels guilty on the Enterprise. Who gives a shit? And then it goes to Data stealing the Enterprise, which is great. And he doesn't realize he's doing it. He gets to the planet, finds Dr. Soong, and realizes that he was basically hijacked to get there. But little do they know that Laura also shows up. Ta-da! Wearing a Pakled outfit. It's kind of great. Get the introduction of the emotion chip. Lore ends up stealing it, and it wasn't made for him, but he uses like a thumb transporter and disappears. The end.
For we're EMH Mark 1 and 2, and you've learned the end. Well done. Yeah, Brothers. I mean, I know that Brent was like, what? I'm in 26 pages by myself. Yep. Huh. And it'll be how many hours of makeup? Don't ask. Huh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a really special episode. The old age makeup is excellent. It obviously looks makeup-y, but it's so detailed and expressive. And I remember Brent said when he put it, he didn't know how to act as... Guy's name? Noonian, thank you. And then he had the face on, and the voice just came. He suddenly was there. He just needed the makeup to kind of live it, which is great because it definitely has a vibe. And to plan an episode with one actor, 3 scenes, and it's all motion control shots and cleverness, and you're always directing wrong, and you never think that. They do a masterful job, and this is really pushing it to the extreme. And I've done some dual actors, but it's really remarkable. And as an actor, imagine playing... I mean, I'm sure his stunt doubles would deliver his lines, so he could actually act against something. But, God, so much work. And then there's apparently a B-plot. Oh, yeah. A kid. Can't he?
I said, yeah, there is. I mean, the ship is sabotaged because of Data's... And this kid has to needs a quarantine field and all that. They have to find a way to save his life. And
I mean, talk about going an A star A plot and a D minus B plot, right? In terms of like overall quality.
But they're both about brothers. It's just like the episode that came before it, family. It's all just family based stuff. At least there's that connective tissue.
You are so true. It also, shows how actually OP Data is. He can take over the Enterprise in under 5 minutes and done. Like, yeah, of course he can. And one of the few episodes of Where's He in Uniform doing Starfleet stuff, looking right. He looks old and he vibes well. And yeah, I think the acting here is superb. The fact that we have seasons of saying Noonan's not alive anymore and then suddenly he appears was a bold choice by them. Kind of sad he got killed because it would have been amazing to have him still. Especially as he's got so much other canon to come that is about like with him, but not quite.
And Bill Barkley says, wait, does Laura get beamed into the crystalline entity to appear in that two-parter where Bev is in charge? No. Nope. He beams back to the Packlet ship that he stole.
This episode, you mean?
Yes.
Sure.
He just beams out. He just said he ran into some... He was floating in space, where they last left him, and he ran into some unfortunate Packlets, and he's wearing a Packlet uniform. So he's got their ship, clearly.
Pretty much.
And it's not one of the Plum ships.
No, not that we ever see it, but what a fun shout.
Yes.
Yeah, always enjoy this episode. It's a lot of fun. And again, as a liking actors, it's like, wow. A lot of good stuff here. I mean, I enjoy it as a B.
Beef Brothers?
That'd be my vote. What do you think?
No, I would agree. You definitely get a lot of really good Brent acting. Brent acting. Sorry.
Is it Law's best performance because he's the most human?
Yeah, I would say it's Law's best performance. Yeah,
because he's a villain in the first one, which is great. He's a human in this, like, and the third one he's just,
Yeah.
What a waste. He's actually better in Picard season 3 than he is in Descent. It's pretty good though. Yeah.
Plus, seeing the stealing of the Enterprise is always cool in any form. So
yeah, I do think had they. It sounds stupid, but I'd focus more on the data plot. Because the fact that I do not care one shit about this B plot means that if in having gone through it, you've lost 11 minutes of your runtime. I would have had another layer to that, or someone else come in, or you know what I mean, have more to that, because I think it was easily enough for the A plot. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Aussie $5 Picard access code in Brothers. Oh, you want me to say it?
And in the Picard voice too. He's a robot.
Well, that I can't do. Hold on, I used to have it sort of memorized.
Yeah, lots of good ones still to go. There's some fun ones in this season. I'll say that. The one that always confuses us, Future Imperfect.
I love that episode.
You know, I should use that comm badge. I've got a shoot on Monday, and I was going to use the All Good Things badge. I should use the Future Imperfect badge, because no one ever, you know what I mean? Who would ever use that? Because it's meant to be alternate your timeline. Yeah. Oh, the rank won't make sense, would it? Oh no. What rank is my badge? I went on a badge buying spree when I was like 16. I was like, can I just buy all your badges, please? I like them all.
Yep.
Yeah, read out whenever you've got it.
Got a lot of badges too. All right. So it's 1734673214776 Charlie 32789777643 Tango 732 Victor 73117888732476787964376.
Point 2.
And I love the computers like trying to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I buy Future Imperfect badge. Oh, technically speaking, if this is another alternate reality, then everyone could just have gold and still pips. There's nothing to say this can't not be a rank, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool for Emma to wear that. Does look a bit weird though in person. Oh, I don't know. Like, what's cooler for a uniform to wear as before? I don't know.
Tab extra, 50 krona. So thank you.
Thank you.
Legacy, because Tasha's sister made me feel stuff.
Yes, the emotion of the scenes. That's what you mean, right?
Yes, it was
filled with emotion. One emotion in particular.
Skin tight jumpsuit emotions.
Iara? Is that him?
Something like that. Yeah.
Iara, yeah.
Where is what's Legacy? That's the one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we get introduced to Tasha's sister as a touchstone for Tasha, and you have to deal with all of Data's quote unquote feelings around that. Plus, we like Tasha. Her sister can't be bad.
Yeah. Those rape gangs won't change her personality for another person. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of conflict. She kind of comes across as likable, and yet, a little bit
skeezy,
dastardly.
Yeah.
And she grows to like everybody pretty much. She doesn't really want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
The main crew.
She's not bad. Just
no, but she's using their connection to Tasha to get the upper hand on this the terrorist faction they're fighting. I can't remember specifically. I know they have chips in them or something. I don't remember. That's one of the things about this episode. I don't remember a lot of the main plot. Just that Tasha's sister was there for a little while and she wore that. So
yeah, this one I like it, and in fact, yeah. Okay, not the Miles O'Brien one, but 4 out of the 5 here have all been sequels. Pretty bold. I mean, obviously a sequel to Tasha, but that's still a sequel, right? Yeah, I've always liked this one because great casting for the sister. I don't think she has the same vibe as Tasha.
No.
But also, she's had none of the training, she shouldn't, although, it would have been very interesting to have holodecked and got Denise back and see them act side by side. That would have been interesting to see how they bounced off each other. But I'm always one to add extra things, aren't I? I always do that. What's the one called again?
Legacy.
Ah, okay. Oh, it might be the first poker episode as well. Or one of the first. Poker's cool. They go to a planet, which is fun. I always like the guest actor who's like the leader of the group, and then they have booze, and that was always a fun thing. I remember also they fight on this corridor, if you remember, and it's like the same one set, and we'd comment how now they go from left to right, right to left. It's like that's all you got, isn't it? It's like, yep. I do remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't remember a lot of the context, a lot of the minutia of the episode.
Well, there's just two sides, and
neither one's in the right, and she's on the side that looked more like the rebellious side. It's kind of against the authority of the planet. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a case of like they keep fighting until one wins. Why? Because we've always done that. Because we know better, but they're about the same in terms of everything. It's just happened to be born on that continent, and the Enterprise provides a way of removing the chip, allowing her to go in and do critical damage to the reactor, end the war once and for all, because they can't go into each other's spaces without the alarms going off, and this is like their secret ultra weapon. And she almost kills Data, and it's quite dramatic and it's sad. Like, I like the idea of this, and I remember enjoying this in the past, but you're right, I'm not fully remembering the context.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another one of those episodes you're watching. That was pretty good. I really enjoyed that. And then you instantly forget the minutia of it. I don't know why. But yeah,
I wonder if the sets are all I like the sets. I wonder if they're all just all gloomy and dark, and it does take a while to get going. I mean, fair enough, setup, but it's 20 minutes in when she's like properly doing stuff, and 15 till she's introduced.
I'm gonna have to say it. For me, this is probably a D.
Ooh, dear. I was thinking C, no lower. So it goes in the bad category.
There's nothing to remember it except for Tasha's sister. It's a Tasha's sister episode. Okay, can you tell me what happens?
Yeah, there's a conflict between two forces. There's Suicide
Squad. I bet you most people wouldn't be able to, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but if Tasha's sister is enough to be great... But it's like Data's Day, right? What do you remember from that? Wedding and dancing, none of minutia. This has one big minutia.
No, Data's Day is way more memorable. Way more memorable. Well, I don't know. I'm voting D. Voting D.
Okay. What do you guys think? Because D for me makes this one of the worst of the season, and I don't think it is.
Oh, we still need room for an F. We can't just because we want to delineate this season, right? Mm-hmm. So if there's one that's worse than this, that'll be an F. This one's not bad, if I recall correctly.
Okay, I tell you what then.
It's kind of unmemorable.
That's the thing. I watched it more when I was younger, so it was memorable to me. I'll agree to a D as long as you give me one veto of one that then needs to be moved, because now in contrast it should be changed. Because like I said, this now puts a quality point of D. So anything below this is instantly an F. You know what I mean? Like this is now setting a bar of where things below it should be, right?
I'm looking at other ones that I think are going to be C's, and I'd much rather watch them than this. That's why I said D. Well, so I don't know.
Hey, let's put some contrast in. I'm open, but anything worse than this would be the F or D then. Interesting.
I'm going to put it as C because I don't want to argue about it.
I'm saying put it as D because I'm interested for that thing to come later when that moment is done. I want that moment. Put it in D.
Okay.
I want to live that. I want to see when, because I've not looked at what's going. I like to stay oblivious, even though I do all the reference material. I want that moment.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Next up, we got the SP Freely, 5 pounds. Night Terrors, a great horror-themed episode. No, that's Schisms.
Fuck.
This is the one where all the dead bodies sit up in the morgue, and everybody's hallucinating because they're not getting any REM sleep, and they don't know why. And 2 moons or 1 moon circles. Deanna's having nightmares, visions, because this thing on the other side of the rift is communicating with them. It needs hydrogen sent through.
I'm glad you remember this episode.
Because they're trapped as well. Yeah. It's a very. It's. I was gonna say it's not a very memorable episode, but I've had to brush up on it over the course of Trekyards.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people confuse it with Schisms. That's one of the main things.
And I just did, and that was not a joke.
I know. So, yeah. It's a very surreal, kind of spooky episode, but it's kind of remembered for being silly at the end with her just floating there. And
which, in fairness, doesn't look terrible. It just looks silly. It's actually a really good composite for what it's worth.
Yeah. But yeah, some creepy imagery. We get the ship at the beginning, where the captain's log. She looks like all funky, just tired and ragged.
This is the Miranda Bridge. That's obviously the Enterprise C bridge. That I was like, why are there pillars in the middle of the set? Shut up. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
But a new model shot of the Reliant. Oh, not Reliant, but that's a proper new one. It was a real close up. That's cool.
Yeah, and they start out by finding that one Betazoid who is still alive on the ship, but he's insane.
Mm-hmm.
And there's snakes. There's dead bodies coming back to life. There's the turbo lift thing closing in on Picard. Him freaking out. Worf almost kills himself. Yeah, there's a lot of creepy stuff, but then they release hydrogen. There's an explosion. It gets them out of it, and yay, everybody can go to sleep.
Way! God, Cake is in it again. Let's go on Cake.
Yay.
So as I'm scrolling, I do remember this episode, but for none of the details at all. Not a single line, not a single moment. As scrolling, I love the everyone looks tired of makeup. When you watch it slowly, it doesn't kind of come across as I'm scrolling. I love the iteration of them. Yes, the moment of the boys is very famous. We talk about it. You always bring it up, so that's stuck in my brain. And I remember the puzzle being decent, and definitely Worf's suicide moment's very dramatic. But yeah, I mean, hasn't left an imprint on me for as good as it might be.
Yeah.
I wonder why, because this is a great premise.
It is, but I don't know why.
Because I really like the Chakotay one in Voyager, where there's an alien race making them all go to sleep. I think that's really good, like properly better than this. And why is that much better? At least for me personally. This has got an ensemble cast. Maybe it's alien threat be more visible. I don't know. Similar idea. I think that's much better.
I don't really remember that Voyager one that much, so.
Yeah, he's really good in that. He's really good in that. With the two great twists. Not to spoil the twists. Give it an F. This is worse than the Tasha one. Easy. I couldn't hear a single line in it. Or a single scene individually apart from the 3 gimmicks. Yeah, easy F. For this season. Yeah, easy F.
I sort of disagree and think it should be a D, but I'll put it at an F because, yeah.
Yeah, if it's more unmemorable, that's even worse, right? But I appreciate you remember the plot, kind of.
Hydrogen, that's the answer.
Yes. At least Troy got some stuff, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just love stuff.
Or I've lost my powers stuff.
Yeah. Or I'm pregnant stuff.
Or I've been mentally accosted.
See, I like Marina when she's good. And she's really good in Voyager. Properly
I like
good.
Deanna. I like Deanna when she's good.
That's what I meant. But she's so good in Voyager. When they're like, we have to pay her so much money to be a guest star. We'll give her dialogue and good stuff because she's so much money's been paid to her right now. Goodness.
All right, Ozzy says $2 and says you forgot to say lock. Fuck sakes, I did too. All right. 17346 732 1476 Charlie 32789777643 Tango 732 Victor 731178888 732476789764376 lock. Perfect.
Was that one breath?
No, that was not one breath.
Okay. And Brent did one breath. It wasn't his voice.
Well, Patrick did it, and you could tell it was edited in 1 or 2 spots.
Yeah, it's funny because doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Good episode, clearly, because we beat it up.
Okay, next up we got Tab Extra with 50 Krona, so thank you. I'm impressed you guys can pull up the right pictures for Superchat on short notice. Are you guys doing it, or is there a helper? Well, all the pictures are ready beforehand, thanks to Sam, and then, yeah, they're all kind of scattered around the thing. It's a whole process.
Yeah, it varies.
And yeah, when we're doing ships that people are just randomly saying, yeah, he's looking them up as the super chats are coming in while we're discussing other things. It's a lot to handle. I can't do it.
It's a very tiring mental brain. It's great, but it's tiring. This, at least, you got to find all 26, put them in, size them, and then I can focus on actually talking to you guys. So it's a lot easier because there's only so many. You can't curveball us when there's only 26. Or if you can, I mean, if you have an unmade episode of clips of it, I'd love a curveball this season.
Yes. SP Freely, you did put in £10 earlier. You only suggested one for that. Did you suggest another one? If you did, I didn't see it in the regular chat. Because you were entitled to 2 with that one, for sure.
There's plenty left to talk about. Let me go have a looky look. Oh, yeah, loads left. Goodness.
Some really good ones too.
Oh, that's that one. Yeah. Okay.
And Not You is back again, saying, "Hi crew, are we drinking in this one?" Yes, water.
I mean, for 50, I have a Monster Blue Raspberry Vodka. I don't want to, but for 50.
For 50. Yeah, it has to be worth it for sure. I would definitely.
In this sort of live, because that would not be fun. But you know, it does help us go. We pack goods. This help us go.
And not use like, okay, I'm going to rehab. I'm glad you're showing up, though. I appreciate it that you're showing up and commenting. Hopefully all is well. And Gorgonzola says, are you suggesting that Sam is the perfect secretary? No, I prefer my secretaries to be a little sexier than Sam. Sylvia.
Rudeness? Utter rudeness. I was expecting all the nice things. And...
All right, 39 of you here, 35 likes. Let's get those likes up, guys, if we can. Try to get to 45, maybe. And also go vote in the poll. We have 37 votes. Poll is which part of Best of Both Worlds is the best? Part 1, the Borg becoming fire. Part 2, sleep data. We win.
Yes.
That's great. I love that. That just amuses me. That was really good. Very well done.
Appreciate it. Ah, SPS 3D. The Mind's Eye is a second pick. Why, guys, choose what else do we want to put in? Mind's Eye. Classic.
Is that the Riker Crazy Man one?
Geordie.
Oh, yes. Manchurian Candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
And before we get to talking about that, Not You says, you guys are awesome. Anyways, always going to support you anyway I can. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so yes, the Mind's Eye. This is a good one. It is just the Manchurian Candidate in the Star Trek skin. I'm just trying to find the episode here. There it is. So yeah, Geordi, of course, talking to himself in a shuttlecraft on his way to an engineering seminar or something.
I think he's on his way to Risa.
Or his way back from Risa.
Well, he's got a drink. He's got like a mojito. I think he's going to...
Yeah, I think he is going to Risa, you're right.
Yeah, because they come back and it's like, are you feeling more relaxed? Oh, yes, the beaches. And it's like, no, you're being mind tortured. Yeah, the beaches. What?
Yeah. But, I mean, in a shuttlecraft, not actually a shuttle pod, I think.
Thank you. Yep.
It's like 15.
An impulse. We'll just let Jordan. We'll let you take 3 weeks of travel. We could get you there in 17 minutes. It's like
in a shuttle the size of a car that doesn't have a bathroom. Enjoy. You just beam it into space. It's fine. Anyway, Deridex decloaks, and then when we come back, we get the Klingon ambassador. I don't remember the Klingon story necessarily.
Well, he's the spy, so that's his story.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We see some Geordi torture, which is awful.
Lee Good.
Klingon Romulan stuff going on. Geordi comes back. Yay, vacation.
It's Sulaban guy.
Firing, yeah.
It's not Silik.
Yeah. Firing a phaser in main engineering. That's always brilliant.
Oh, Tash is in it as well. Behind the shadow. We're already planning. We're doing some canon. Nice, nice.
Yes, that's true.
Shadow Tasha. Miles gets murdered.
Who does?
Miles gets murdered.
Miles gets murdered?
Yeah, it's in the holodeck. In the simulation to prove...
Yeah, you're right. Get to see things from Geordi's point of view with his visor occasionally. And then he's triggered. He attempts to kill the guy, and then he has to deal with the aftermath because he's talking to Troy about it. It's traumatizing.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Fun story. It's fun to watch. I don't remember all the specifics of it necessarily, but...
Yeah, I love this one. I think it is across the board excellent. It's really great to give LeVar something, and it's super different. We're really, as we're doing this, Romulans they're in it a lot. They're really going full on Romulans. I'm all for it. It's like, again, super original plot. Gets captured, like you say, Manchurian Candidate, but for Trek, from the baddie's perspective, the amazing plan. The twist at the end of Klingon being the spy is great. Actually inside the mind of Romulan and what their evil stuff is, and Tash being there is a lovely thing. The Silik actor is great. The like I said, the killing O'Brien is really a fun scene. And he picks up the chair and sits down, starts drinking, talking. Is really well acted.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, that's a good scene.
And then the phase rifle, which again introduction for it later on. The testing is ridiculous, of course. And then he himself does the sabotage, which then they're having to find, which is fun. And Worf's like, "Is it you?" Like, you get that sense going in. Only 3 people who could do this. The talent to this. Me and this, and it's not me. I was here. So, well, was he, Geordie? But okay. And great casting on the ambassador too. Just really, really dense makeup. Yeah, really, really well acted. And at the end, undone, and then the whole thing just to kill a different Klingon to create a different war. Because as we know, we're leading to redemption, so it's a really good canon point in between.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, it's part of an ongoing narrative for sure.
Yeah, for me, it's easily an A. Like just really, really strong. There's not really a lull at any point. Everything in this episode is very carefully crafted. Even the lulls in the narrative are there to tell a different part of a different story, so it's really well constructed. Yeah. And good. I mean, just good to leave LeVar doing other stuff. LeVar's a very talented actor who can really sell anything pretty much. And he's really good in this.
Get to see his stunt double. The guy they sent to Ryza.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he got to have fun. Yeah.
We need you for an assignment. Go to Ryza. Yeah,
because was he a Romulan then? Did they change, or did they kidnap
He might have been a Kamaloid. They never got into it. He's the guy from Section 31.
What a shout, man! Throwing Kamaloid in there. What a fun shout. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Dear me.
I feel like the Romulans would hire a mercenary Kamaloid for sure for that kind of thing.
Or, since they can program people, just go to a colony, find the closest similar-looking guy, kidnap him, brainwash him, boom, done. Well, they do say it's because Joy's implant it works the way it does. So it's not like a god tech. They can imprint in his brain directly, and they can use it to. Yeah, it's very clever. And luckily, he's not scarred by it, because in most shows he'd be scarred by it.
Yeah,
but that's okay. It's fine. Great shout. Yeah, I always enjoy this one.
All right, Tab Extra, 50 Krona. So thank you again, Tab Extra.
You guys are
Half
amazing.
a life. Loxana finds love, but discovers her man must undergo a ritualistic suicide. Great guest star. A+ for me. Yes.
Yeah, we learned a lot while reviewing this one. I feel like.
Where the hell is it? I just saw it a minute ago. There it is. Timothy is his name. Charles Winchester from MASH.
Stargate Atlantis.
Yes. And yeah, it's I've got to the age of 60? Was it 60 or 65, something like that? And it's like, I must now die. And we got Roe, Ensign Roe, as not Ensign Roe, as his daughter.
Gosh, not Tomalok, or not Silic, not Ducat, not Roe. Jesus. Dent sees them, not our people.
Yeah. With the funky hairstyle coming aboard saying, "How dare you? This is our customs." And it's a good morality tale, this one, of, are you too old to contribute to society? I love that he decides he's kind of struggling with it. And you hope he's going to stay. He chooses not to. He, doesn't want to.
Till the last minute, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to dishonor his family, essentially. So, it's a heartbreaking story, actually, and not one of my favorites by any stretch, just because of the tone of it and what the message is. It's just not quite something I enjoy watching. But I mean,
you're not meant to.
It gets the point across. Exactly. You're not supposed to. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's like you're not necessarily meant to enjoy Saw. You know what I mean? You're not watching it for a good time, in the way that you would
yourself,
Babe, or or it's like watching not Interstellar, not Inception. As if Gravity. That is a bloody attention, God. That was a cinema experience.
Great in 3D, by the way.
Yes, exactly. Cinema, 3D, no idea what the hell it's going. That chord edge of the seated me. Yes.
Yeah, and Timothy is there as a scientist because there's something with their son or something. I can't remember exactly why he's there, but he's a specialist.
I think this is an episode I said, so are they warp capable or not? Because they're helping them.
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't really established they can't help pre-warp civilization because they do it many times. But okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic guest actor, very well written, superbly acted. Yeah, and it hits you in the feels a few times.
Want to jump in?
Yes, please do.
Yeah, this one I always remember thinking, oh, that's good. Watching it with you, I was like, fuck, that is gone a whole nother level of deep. And with Oksana, we talked about her best performance previously. This is her most grounded performance. She's barely herself because she's finally found a guy she likes for all the right reasons, and she doesn't have to play. She can be back, and obviously he's pulling her down because he's nowhere near as verbose and big. But it is a nice. It feels nice, but they have to really, really sell you on that for you to buy everything else about the death, and it's. Yeah, especially he's got full dark hair still, and it's like, why is he drawing? Yeah, it's really dramatic, and you wouldn't think, especially in season 1 or 2 when she was introduced, you have this level of darkness in a Loxana story, right? Chatting up a CGI bartender man in the holodeck, right? The fact they totally did something unexpected is pretty amazing. Plus the stun story, I remember it being good and interesting, and like he does something wrong, but he fixes it. Like there's layers to it. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember thinking it was a really well told sci-fi plot. And then you get the twist, because I believe he's worked on this for like 10 to 15 years, pretty much his life's work, and then they're literally a few tests away from solving it, but now he must go commit suicide. And it's like, but he could solve it. Our culture, but he's literally the man that's like, no, culture. And so you reach the point where everything could be fixed probably. And then the other plot takes over, and it's just heart-wrenching. There's, like his daughter comes in to convince him to kill himself. It's like, oh, for goodness sake. Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. Man, I don't know.
Yeah.
For me, like, personal preference-wise, it'd probably be a C. But it is such a well-done episode. I don't know if that's fair. It's not one I enjoy watching. And that is the point, right? So.
And we talk about memorable. There's a plot, right?
Yes.
The plot is the guy, the death, so that not remembering the specifics are fine because the plot is the main thing. Let's see what's in B then. Because they're all so different. So I guess a small counterpoint. This is definitely a performance piece by Loxana and this guy. Are they main cast of TNG? No. So you're losing a lot of potential main cast time. In everything in B, a main cast member, okay, 2 times out of 3 is Data, they get to shine, and we get to learn about the Federation, Starfleet, tech, in-universe stuff. This is incredibly side storyness. It's great, but we don't gain anything about the universe. Which, everything in A, you get a lot of textual information about the universe. So,
yeah,
I think from a acting point of view, it'd be a B, but then we've got to start differentiating, because I think Data's Day might not be as good acting, because this is exceptional. Is that exceptional? Probably not. Right? It might be very good. You know what I mean? So I think high C, because we don't know, it's not world building the same way. That's my only criterion. Because I don't want to keep putting stuff into B and A, right? I want to have some level of distinction.
Yeah.
I think it might be one of the closest B to C's I've ever said, but I think C just because of what I just argued.
Yeah, because I was thinking C, but then I didn't think that was fair to it. But
oh god,
it definitely does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, and Dan B, but not Dan Ben. Where is Dan Ben? It's not Dan Ben because Dan Ben.
Oh, it's a different Dan.
Two different. Oh yeah, different Dans. Different people, different tastes. Whilst I love the sci-fi tech aspect, a huge part of my enjoyment of Trek It's social commentary disguised as
Yes.
science fiction. This does a great job at that.
Yeah, same with us. But that being said, some of those are really fantastic to watch and enjoyable to watch, even with the social commentary. This is very well acted, very well written, very well done, but enjoyment-wise, it just doesn't quite do it for me. So I get what you're saying, and we don't just love the techiness and the Star Trekkiness of it.
Although we did start a tech channel.
We did.
And I have all the phases. Yeah, and I've never needed sci-fi to be a reflection on society. I think that would get too obnoxious too quickly. If every episode takes a political theme, tries to balance it out, or nowadays just says, this is a wrong move. Abortion is wrong, let's talk about that. It's like, okay. Or whatever, right? Whereas I like just good stories. They don't need to be politically or socially minded. You know, I've made 31 Trek shorts. I don't think any are politically minded. They might have themes of, you know, don't be a dick or whatever, but you can tell a good story without political themes. I'm just saying, like, I don't look for social commentary. I look for good stories.
Yeah.
Which obviously not exclusive. Not. I just don't need one to be the other. I need the good story. It can be social, but I need the good story. You know.
Yes. And yeah, Ozzy says that episode had 4077 on the computer. Yes, the 4077 is the hotel or the hospital number in MASH. Which this is Charles Emmett with Charles Winchester the third.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Ozzy throws in $5 and says season 4 episode 26 Worf leaves the Enterprise part 1 and Redemption part 1.
Good summary. I like that. That's funny. Good job, Ozzy.
This is one that's super dense.
Let's rewatch this.
I'm not the biggest fan of because I'm not really the biggest fan of Klingon stuff. But you got the Duras sisters, you got the young Duras upstart kid. Yeah, exactly. Gowron comes on board.
He's so thin.
That's all I remember. And that Worf leaves the Enterprise in a Klingon outfit at the end.
Yeah, well, it's the culmination of everything we've built to for the season. Romans and Klingons. I think he's not Chancellor yet, but he's High Council, Gowron, who's really good in this, obviously, but he's really, really good. And he gets them to come and do negotiations and such at Kronos, because obviously Worf's been barred, so him coming in, that's what it was. Duras is now really effing up, and we let you take the fall. Soz, come back and fight him, basically. And then they do. You have this great scene with Worf and Guinan. Really good phaser scene.
Yeah, the phaser practice.
Finally, some cavorts. Like, I know it's a small thing, but like that. Kern's back. I always forget he's in it because he's not in it very much. The stupid, no offense, Duras, the stupid bright red in their costumes just looks dumb to me. It just never worked for me. I mean, good casting, but their TV budget does not do them well. Yeah. Was
this the introduction of the boob window?
I can't imagine it was. No, maybe actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I just find the Romulan stuff not as strong as it should have been. The idea is incredible, right? One of the absolute sworn enemies of the Klingon Empire are trying to take over the Klingon Empire. That sounds really good. And you got a lot of Klingons, you got a lot of Romulans, you got this really great texture, but none of it quite works as well as they think. And also, Klingon Civil War, like it's right. It should be amazing. It's just not quite as amazing. Maybe if they introduced everybody before this episode, that might have helped, because there's a lot of people introduced.
Some good Klingon battle at the end where Kern comes in and he's got a little bit of an issue with Gowron, obviously.
Well, it's top level for TNG. I mean, this is as good as they could possibly do, right? All in the Cosmos Bridge. Worf does some shooty. Kern sizes them as being a general. Gowron takes command, although not even agrees, of course, and then becomes a civil war in the next part. And then they can't fight with the Klingons, even though clearly it's been influenced. They leave. Worf leaves. It's a good leaving. Could have been the end of the season for him. Would have been an interesting end. It's a genuinely good setup that probably could have been like 10 minutes more refined and shorter. And having Sealer end is genius. But everything here should have been set up slightly earlier. At least having like one Dura sister in a previous episode doing something.
Yeah.
It's such an expensive episode for them, right?
Such a well-crafted episode, I think, too.
But it's also super reliant on part 2, which they're going to make in 6 months, and I don't remember part 2 being amazing.
I think we were let down by part 2 when I reviewed it.
It is probably just too big a scale for them at the time, because they're really trying, but they couldn't necessarily achieve it. I mean, this has got to be at least a C, but probably just a C. I think expensive does not equate, because I don't remember the writing being exceptional.
Yeah, if you're a Klingon fan, I'm sure it's higher up, but...
Well, if you're a Klingon fan, I mean, every episode of Klingons would be S or A, because they're all interesting. And I do really enjoy the Duras scene with Picard. That's great. There are lots of great little moments, but it doesn't quite come together the way I think it should. So I'd say a strong C, but that's for money, effort, lore, not the guy.
I mean, scrolling through it, I get such a richness of visuals and things that you think, oh, it's fantastic. But I remember watching it going,
that's right.
I'm a little bored. I'm not a big fan of the Klingon political thing. It just doesn't...
I am, but...
Yeah.
I think a C is fair. I think had the part 2 been better, had they written part 2? I don't know. And I know the idea. It's like Anakin in Phantom Menace, having a brat be the Duras's the illegitimate son of Duras be the guy. Just it feels weak for me. I understand it all, but he's not the best actor in this. It's not the best part. And the original Duras guy was great. He really owned it, right? I get the logic. It doesn't quite pan out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have been better, actually, probably, if this had been the 2-part at the end of the season, meaning both parts. So they could write both, film both, have a movie budget, the equivalent, and tell it all in the one narrative versus saying, stop, finish writing, whatever. I think it might have been stronger. I don't know.
I think since Best of Both Worlds, they had learned, like, this whole story was probably written. So they knew what they were going to be doing for part 2. It wasn't left on a cliffhanger writing-wise. Because, yeah.
You'd hope so. But then you're technically writing for season 4 before you've finished season 3. I don't know if you're allowed to do that necessarily. I'm sure there's a story draft, but...
I think they also, for some of these where it carries over to the next season, they actually film some of the parts for the next season at the end. Because when you go in and watch the next season, like, a lot of shows do this kind of thing, and it's like, how hard would it be to film like another 2-3 scenes with everybody there at the end of the season and just have it banked for the next season and then finish filming the rest later?
But that's not what they're thinking. They're thinking we'd have to pay them double because now they're in 2 episodes. That's different. Now in 2 seasons, they're 2 contracts. They'll be contracted for 2 episodes. So now they're doubling the actor budget for that episode. It's easier to use the next season's budget to pay the actors and just get them back in makeup. Because they're not looking at it as, we'll do that, because it would just double the season budget, like the end episode. And then the next, you know what I mean? There's practical reasons, and it's the makeup guy's job to match it, right? I agree, it would make sense. But
it feels like some scenes from some of those part 2s feel like that was done. They had it, they just didn't edit it into that episode, and they just saved it for this. That's what
I agree.
That's how I would do it.
It's just technicalities, yeah. It be the money.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I did this or not.
That's the last super chat so far, but we still have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14.
Oh gosh.
16 episodes left.
Yes, but our least covered season so far, guys. No S's. Guys, yeah.
Which is surprising. I see S's. I see them on the sideline.
It's all up to you guys. That's part of the fun. Okay, so this episode was filmed 10th of April to 18th of April, 1991. It was meant to be the season 3 cliffhanger, but they moved it to Best of Both Worlds. Which also doesn't necessarily make sense because they couldn't have done the Roman setup. Like that would have, so that obviously all changed.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
And it was the 100th episode they made.
Yeehaw.
And they resumed work on the 5th season July 8th. So April, May, June, July. So 4 months later they filmed the next part.
It's not bad. Even though it says that officially, I still think there's footage in the buffer that they just used.
Yeah, but then you got to lie to tax people. Like, yeah, because then you legally didn't film the episode that day. Like, we as sneaky filmmakers do that, but you're lying to tax people. You're lying to production people. All the notes are then wrong, and lawyers, you know.
But I mean, if you have footage that's not used in the edit that you can use in the next episode.
That's not how you write scenes, though. You plan a cliffhanger moment. You don't write the scene and then say, "Oh, the cliffhanger ends when they leave the room and there's no epic end." Especially as the end ends with with a sealer coming out. Like there's the end. Yeah. But that would be interesting though, from a legal perspective, if they genuinely cut a scene and then made that without intending to, and use that scene as the first scene of the second part.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure some legally, stuff like that happens.
But I would assume they'd have to then be paid in the second season, double pay. But but they wouldn't know until the next season.
Why? For 10 minutes of footage?
Yeah. They've been paid
It's
for
retarded.
the day. Actors come on for 5 minutes of footage and they spend an entire day filming 5 minutes. I mean, action scenes are normally filmed in like a minute and a half a day, if you're lucky. They can film like 35 seconds of final footage. I mean, remember you spent 2 weeks doing a fight scene. You know that Mission Impossible with Henry Cavill? That bathroom scene, which was like 6 minutes, took 2 months to film.
Yeah.
And that's insane, isn't it? It's like you know, millions a minute. But it's obviously a really amazing scene, blah, blah. Anyway.
Anywho's. Yeah, common sense just doesn't win out a lot of times, unfortunately. So, anybody else have any more recommendations? We have another 40-ish minutes.
There's loads more I'd love to cover.
16 episodes. So, Royston S. Bailey, $5. Bump Up Half a Life, Good TV and Good TV. And there's a sci-fi premise. A civilian with a civ with customs that are objectionable to us deserves better than a seat.
Yeah. We were right on that line anyway.
Yeah. Alright, bumped up. Tab extra, 50 krona. Clues. The crew, with the exception of Data, is rendered unconscious for 30 seconds. Very strong morals from the crew.
And it's not the one with the guy who's tricking them. Easy to mistake the two, because there are similar themes and tone. Yeah, this one's hard to summarize because nothing actually visually happens in the episode. Yeah, exactly. That's the episode summarized.
Should have had just them all unconscious on the floor. That's what I would have used. Yeah.
Do you want to jump in first?
Yes, please.
I remember we watched this review and we did this review and we both agreed at the end. Amazing first watch, weaker second watch. Because the premise is excellent, the tone is excellent, the pace is excellent. Second time, you're like, oh, okay. It doesn't have the same, like, the impact is the watch. Because, yeah, the twist that Data's the problem, but a good problem. And it's so damn logical. So, of course, the plot is they go play, what's the word? They explore to a place where the xenophobic race doesn't like outsiders. Data, Picard works out a deal if he'll forget, then they let go, but they actually do lose 3 weeks, and there are little clues because 2 weeks have passed or whatever, and Data's tricking things and faking things, and it's a reverse whodunit, but the answer is Data, which is amazing, which I guess is also kind of scary after Brothers. 2 episodes of the season he's kind of the dodge, and it's a really fun procedural, everyone working together. It is genuinely unnerving, broken wrists, etc., and Data playing along, and you can see Brent worrying. The amount of stuff he's put on his face for being believable. It's okay, Captain, let's do this instead. It's like, and then the end satisfying, and yeah. It's a really clever bottle show for almost no money.
Yeah. And yeah, first time watching it, you're like, what the fuck is going on? What is up with Data? It's, skimming through it, I remember really enjoying this episode every time I watch it because of all the little clues.
Yep.
The beginning with the Dixon Hill thing is also funny because Guinan goes in. But there's a real menace from Data. And you're right. After Brothers, it's like you don't know what this guy's capable of. And he's offering ridiculous solutions to problems, like her little boss. He's like, I don't even know why he recommended that because...
Yeah. I remember that.
So you think something's sketchy. And yeah, it's a really great idea.
This is one that you can't remember the macro. You can remember the overall, but it wins in the small stuff, right?
Yeah.
Unlike Macduff, where there's big moments, it's the same thing but different. That wins them big. I got to give this at least a C, because I know it's a really strong piece of TV, but not really, really strong, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think C's fine for that.
Because the bar here is very high, right? But I'm saying that, but is it better than Leah Brahms' episode? It's a really good piece, though. Oh, no.
No, I think it's probably a B.
Yeah, it's a B. Yep, no. Yeah, convince myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some cool visuals as well. The green planet, the blue nebula. Like, there's some interesting stuff in this one.
Yeah. And it's so Star Trek at the end. They work out. Well, if I recall, if our computers forget, then what have we learned here? We just won't say it's fine. Like, oh no, it's not. And they do wipe them all. They do wipe them all again.
Yeah.
But they.
But you said this wouldn't happen the first time. Well, now we know what's going to happen, so we can plan for it. So none of this whole episode is not in their data banks. They would not know about this. So we're in the know as the viewer.
And then Data's little non-smiling smile at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, B. Yep. God, this season's hard to judge because there's nothing sort of below average, apart from what we've seen. But the average is real strong on this. All right. Still many left to do, guys. Under 30 minutes. Quick fire if you can.
41 likes. I'd like to get to 50 likes if we could. If you just are joining us and you're one of the 9 people that hasn't liked yet, please do so. We also have 49 votes on the poll. It's not even 50. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote.
Yeah.
One where the alien wipes the memories in because Macduff is in season 5. The Macduff one's fun. I like that one.
Stands out for all the right reasons. Next.
And Tab Extra says, "What did I mess them up? This was not the one with the other fake office. So the fake first officer. No, he didn't mess us up. He was just referencing it." So.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's the last one. I thought we had 3. Oh, okay. All right. Do we dare lower it to $3, Joe?
Sure.
Because we
want super chats. Just super chat in.
Because we want to give you the power. We do like you the power.
Still lots to talk about. It's good and iffy. We still don't have an S. I challenge someone to super chat in with an S.
How interesting is that? No S. But I think we both know the bar is so specifically high that you
I did miss one. Hold on. Ozzy, $5. Season 4, episode 20. Worf isn't a merry man. Qpid.
There we go. But yeah, guys, quick fire. Plenty enough to go. I won't get talked about, and that's a shame. But we give you the power. You are Grayskull. No, you're He-Man. All of you. It's weird. Don't think about it too hard.
Yes. What he said. So, the return of Q yet again. Some funny moments with the crew dressed as Robin Hood and his merry men. We got Vash back. Sits in the captain's chair.
Yeah.
She's been on... No, she has not been on an adventure with Q yet. This is where she leaves with him at the end. Yeah. Yeah, and he basically puts Vash in a tower and says, Picard, if you want to rescue her, feel free. That's it, I guess. I don't know. And then she leaves with Q at the end to go adventuring because she's an adventurous spirit. And
you sound so excited about this. I'm really resonating off you, Stuart. Really.
As Picard, I'd be kind of pissed, but hey. No, I don't remember the fucking plot. Q shows up.
The plot
takes the love of Picard's.
Yes.
Life. Yeah.
He's saying, Jean-Luc, you're not admitting you fancy this lady. Shut up, Q. No, you fancy her. No. Well, let's prove it. You'll rescue her. But he's like, you'd do it for anybody, almost.
Well, he would, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a false thing. Proving it. And then you get an excuse of a non-holodeck simulation. Yeah, this is such an odd one because everyone forgets the first half. But the first half's the reason for the joke of the second half. Right? And there's really interesting stuff in the first half as I'm scrolling. Again, a sequel again. That's amazing. The season is full of let's revisit. As I'm scrolling, I'm intrigued that she looks notably older. I mentioned on Tuesday that she felt too young for him in my visual appearance. So here she looks older. So therefore she feels more like a match to him because he's, quite a bit older. We talked about at the time that she totally has morning sex with Picard. And then Beverly walks in their 8 a.m. morning, and she's like, hello. Like, yes, they did.
Oh, yeah.
Fade to black. They totally did it.
Yeah.
There's not even ambiguity, which is great. And this is the first, we haven't an order, but the first, casual having lunch with the captain or breakfast. Really good little textural stuff. It's like that stuff pops in a way that's
I love the awkwardness of this conversation. Like, Beverly, meet Vash. Just the knowing look on Beverly's face. It's like, oh, really?
And then going straight to the bridge, and she knowing that, she's done things to the captain, that she can just walk into the captain's chair and he's not going to rain on that parade, is so... And he walks... I'm watching the scene, and it's like... And it is... Like, that stuff is so unbelievably rich, and then you get to the silly stuff. And actually, now I'm scrolling again. It's like, that stuff's so much better, Star Trek-wise. The fun is amazing, but I would love more of that. And Delancey's oddly long hair. I guess he's doing some other parts. It's way longer hair than he normally has.
Yeah.
In uniform, it just looks weird. And then the Merry Man stuff is fun and silly. Is it that fun? Is that silly? Yes. But is it the best? No. But memes be memeing. And I'm sure Patrick loved it because A, new look, B, really new character. Although Marion gets then reduced to Marion.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, part of the point, but she's more interesting than that. And
it's a fun episode, but it's not, like I said, I forgot the main reason for it happening. I do like the little lecture he's giving, and all of a sudden, like, the hats start popping onto people.
Yeah.
That's a fun scene.
And as I'm scrolling, I remember a behind-the-scenes nugget that they're in the castle about to do a sword fight, and both Marina and Gates have sword training, and LeVar and Frakes do not have sword training. And so they actively made the two women who had all the experience, because they're women, not do the fighting. And they're like... And it does seem a bit silly. Yeah. It's just... Yeah.
Yeah, and there's that underlying tone of... Vash comes on board, and Picard hasn't told anybody about her, and she's kind of pissed about that. And he's upset, so he goes to his ready room, sees Q there. That's what starts all this. He's like, can I help you with this, Jean-Luc? Yeah, so...
At the end, she goes with Q, which is an amazing thing that Q, an almighty being, is interested enough to go around with one archaeologist. Some archaeologist. I think this is a fan favourite, but I think the first stuff is just more interesting from the Trek level.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I would say very high C, but B's are better.
Yes. If you want a fun episode and you like Q, this is definitely higher. But
yeah, because now we're going for this season, right? And I'm wondering, is it Leah Brahms' episode? Should that be a C? Because again, B's are starting to be quite heavy hitters. Is that still in B?
It is still in B, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you like I haven't moved it, is what I said. Do you want it moved down to C?
I'm saying compared to everything else in B, it doesn't quite seem as strong. At least in my eyes. As it's a question, not a statement. Just like the contrast is important.
I enjoy Galaxy's Child because it's cool seeing the.
Well, and I enjoyed the Qpid one, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll leave it there for now, but I'm intrigued because, yeah, the B's and A's be, yeah, and no S's yet. We've got to have an S by the end of the streamline. Because remember you pick what episodes you could throw in an S. If you think it's an S.
Well, Tab Extra throws in 50 Krona. Future Imperfect feels like a forgettable season 1 Roddenberry episode. What?
And I said, bitch. If you get that
this
reference,
is one of
say
my
how
favorite
you
episodes.
If you get that reference, say it. Oh, Jesus. Stuart, Future Imperfect.
Man. Just disappointed now.
You're not angry though.
Sure.
Just disappointed.
I love the twists in this because you think, oh, it is the Romulans at the end. It's like, no, that's not no. He wakes up after being on an away mission, and it's like what, 15 years later or some shit.
Well, his kid's born, so yeah, it's 15, 16
yeah. Everything looks cool. I love the alternate. Everybody, from the uniforms to the comm badge to the paint on the doors, everything's just a little different and off. We get, is it Ambassador Picard or Admiral Picard?
Yeah, Ambassador,
yeah. Then of course his kid Jean-Luc. We got Tomalak there, as you do. I love the dealing with this, like this thing you got infected with 15 years ago is now all of a sudden kicking in, so you just forget all that since you first got it. It's a great premise, great idea, and I love alternate reality stuff. It's not a time travel episode, but kind of is because you see the older people. And then it's all shattered because of Minuet. And then, of course, it's the Romulans. They have the commander in a holodeck simulation because they wanted to get information from him. And there's this sketchy kid that was Jean-Luc in the simulation, and it's like, oh, no, it's just a lonely goddamn alien. Which is a cool look, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Roswell, but not.
Yeah. That was a fun episode. This is very, very Star Trek, and the double twist is really good as well. Plus some really great quotable lines, like, no, you can't, don't even try. Where'd you get that scar? What sector? What battle? Like, there's some good stuff in this. I really enjoy this one. I love these characters kind of having fun playing with the characters in an alternate way. But that's my take on it. How about you?
I mean, we say this every time we talk about this episode. You always forget it's the double twist. Because a single twist is perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like 91% of the episode. Yeah. Double twist!
Exactly what the Romulans would do.
Yeah, it's literally the last scene. There's no more scenes after it, but you don't need that. No, and I really think what they did for the Enterprise is so tasteful. It is just a bit different, but everything's a bit different. It's a really nice touch of detail. I like the combos a lot of thought put in. Pips in the badges. Everyone looks a bit older and more disheveled. Riker with some grey really suits that half grey. Again, it's just a bit. Everyone's hairstyles is great. Seeing we've always referred to it, but seeing Geordie without the visor, always refreshing. He just pops so much with his eyes. He just has expression. The first Ferengi on the bridge, wonderful, really really nice. Data in red, he looks excellent, and yeah, the fact they commit 90% to the bit or 80% of the double twist is great. Also, Picard, really good. First Deanna in uniform, she looks fantastic. Tomlock, excellent, well played. It's an across the board, and the mystery factor. The computer's running slow. He doesn't remember. The kid's great. Minuet's great. It's so much fun, and you really feel for Riker. Because this sucks. And there's so many Amnesia episodes in Trek, and you know it's probably not going to stick. As in, it's going to be something. But a double twist is not on the cards, right? I really like Picard's look with the goatee and the hair. It's a really good shout. And given it's the Romulan season, this kind of makes sense. They would play this trick, both in universe and out. And shut up, Jean-Luc.
Shut your mouth, as in stop talking.
It's a really good Riker episode. He is owning this because now, I mean, you can't really imagine waking up one day being captain and having no experience, having a kid, it's such a fun actor piece where he's underplaying it to a lot until it goes wild because there's like so much to deal with. And great kid actor. He's very good in this compared to several people from last season. He is, I mean, he's a bit older, I get it, than maybe the other kid. He's really perfectly cast in this.
Yeah.
And Minuet as a quick cameo, like, oh, come after 3 years, come play a computer character is great. Yeah.
Yeah. Literally, you'll be in home video footage.
Yeah. Oh, I love the Romulan holodeck as well. Great idea. Same thing, but both shittier, but also bigger and cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah, across the board. Great piece of fun.
For me, this is one of the most memorable TNG episodes for multiple reasons. But is it S-worthy? That's the question.
No, because we're biased.
Yes, we are.
So, because I think you could easily argue like The Wounded is better because it deals with so much more interesting themes.
Yeah.
So from a like everyone else's perspective, so I want to say flat A, no question. Like personal preference, probably in the top 15 for me because it's handled so well. But yeah, I think we can't go because personal preference. I think this is an A for fun and for well written, but I don't think it necessarily hits S. Would it be better if the double twist wasn't there? If it was actually a Romulan plot?
No, because then you'd have to get an escape and or a rescue.
Future Imperfect Part 2, Imperfect Future. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah, and then okay. I'm pitching it, guys. I'm pitching it. Part 2, and again, any more? We've got a few minutes. Throw some more in, but I'm glad to get that. Put in an S. All right. Imagine Part 2, right? It starts with Riker. He's like trapped in the holodeck with all the same characters, and they like won't react. So he's trying to yell at them as to, stop telling me I'm a captain. And everyone's not reacting, so he's being forced to live out as being this fake captain. And then Picard comes in, real Picard, and deals with a Master Picard, and like everyone comes in and meets their other self. But you know what I mean? So everyone plays duplicates, but because they can't break the simulation, you can have so much fun with that. And then that would have been fun to have them actually walk into the simulation as everyone else, or like pretend to be other people, like maybe. Data's you could have fun with that if you made it a two-parter and be a Romulan. So it's basically the less gruesome version of the Cardassian one. He's held prisoner being tortured, but there are 4 pips. But
there are 4 pips.
Yeah.
This is surprising because this is pretty consistent quality across the board at this point, and we still don't have an S.
And again, guys, we're down to 3. So throw in some 3s. We've got 12 minutes left. Quick fire some 3s. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the fact they've got that many A's and B's, and we weren't really dilly-dallying on most of those, like, and all of the A's with personal preference could be S, right?
Yes.
If you've got brother issues, you're probably going to relate to brothers. If you're a war veteran, you're probably going to love Wounded. If you like spy stuff, you're going to like each of those could be S for somebody easily. I think both of us would probably put Future Imperfect as an S if we have personal preference playing over the top. We're trying to be fair here.
Yes.
Right? So that's really interesting, but none that are necessarily the toppest tier for us. Or just put all 4 in S, right? Like, because you know what I mean. They're all so good in their own different way. But I'm waiting to find the S. I'm waiting to find the clearly the best, right?
Which this season has Drumhead, which nobody's mentioned. Some people might consider that the best. I don't know if I necessarily would.
Yeah.
So what do we got left? We've got.
See, we learn stuff when we do this, Joe. We are on a journey together.
We are. So we've got Suddenly Human, Remember Me, Final Mission, The Loss.
God, loads, yeah.
Devil's Due, First Contact, Identity Crisis, The Nth Degree,
Broccoli,
Drumhead, The Host, In Theory, or did we do In Theory? I don't know if we have. No, we have not done In Theory, and that's it. So those are the ones we have left.
and Best of Both Worlds Part 2.
Yeah, and the Best of Both Worlds.
So much.
Anonymous YouTuber says you guys are but a bunch of 90s haters. Absolutely not. Some dipshit that doesn't watch our content, so don't let it worry you.
But the chart, it's A's and B's. Stuart, 2 foot from me, I have like a £300 TNG high-end replica uniform that fits me perfectly, so tailored.
But you hate the 90s stuff, so just shut up.
I have a box of com badges, and every single one is from the 90s, design-wise. I have like 9 First Contact badges, because I just have 9 First Contact badges.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hate the 90s, though.
Stupid people be stupid in.
Crazy. Oh, Aussie, good.
Aussie $5. Remember Me.
Traveller Part 2, another sequel. Wow, this is the season of Let's Do It Again. But like they're all fresh. That's not a complaint. It's just like let's build upon previous seasons. Wow.
Yep. So yeah, the Static Warp Bubble episode.
Static Warp
is
Shell.
Again, we've got the Enterprise D doing Star Trek 3 things. We meet Dr. Quace. And yeah, there's experiments going on. There's a flash, boom, boom, oh no. And then Beverly's like, where's Dr. Quace? This is great. The crew of the Enterprise is just slowly getting less and less and less. And it's like, there's only 2 of us aboard the ship. How does that make any sense? Don't you remember Data, the guy that can never get a joke? Don't you remember, ship's counselor? All these people. Nope. It's just us on board. And then you get, like, halfway through the episode, you get to cut to the real world, where you see the travelers brought in, and Wesley and him are trying to solve the problem. The visual of the shell closing on the Enterprise, love that. And you got to think that's the size of the universe at this point, at least in there. So, damn. It's a fun episode, and you're wondering the whole time, is she going mad? She's wondering if she's going mad. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with the universe. I think that every goddamn day. But anyway. And then back to the crowded Enterprise at the end. It's a fun episode. It is truly a Trek one, too, because of the sci-fi, at least, of the people just disappearing and the self-doubt of wondering if it's just your brain, if you're actually going crazy. So
yeah, I think
fun episode.
I think it's a perfect sci-fi premise because it's so simple and understandable, so high concept, with so much continuing tension, with the ability to have these jokes about the crew being 2 people, and the way Patrick delivers that scene is expert, and the way they shoot it, the way they're walking around and touching other places for other people who are always there, and Picard doesn't think anything of it. It's like, well, who buys the damn ship? Oh, we do. There's 9 chairs on the bridge. This is 1 room. Anyway, yeah, I mean, and I do think, I don't know if you'd agree with this, only Beverly and Gates could act this episode of the main cast. Only her could do this episode justice.
I disagree.
Shall I explain why?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Geordie would be too technical. Picard just would be too impersonal. Riker would be too funny without the heart. Troy just couldn't do it. No, sorry. Worf definitely couldn't do it. And Data would be too technical. Gates and Beverly has such a heart, but knowledge, but experience, but sort of she's out of the chain of command, so she can be more forceful, and it feel appropriate to like Picard at the end. And she has so many like micro gestures, being like a mum and caring for people, and it's hurting her. And I think she nails the tone so perfectly that no one else could do it in the way it's written. Right, you could change it to be, but it's so emotion filled, and no one else, I think, the main cast has this sort of, yeah.
I think Worf could probably pull it off,
but he wouldn't talk as much though. Like, and you sort of need that he has to entirely own a scene, and she can just, I don't know. But yeah, maybe Worf.
I think any of them could have done it if it was written according to their character.
Right, that's what I mean. I guess this version has written. Only she could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's superb, and yeah, I never quite love cutting back to the normal Enterprise, and like something about that never quite sat with me. And maybe the travel bumpy in the last minute. I don't know. Just the stuff in the shell is so fun, and the visual of the you know, they can pull away the view screen and do the effect, so it's like a real thing they did on set, and it's just so visceral and shitty, and it's great.
So it's an S.
Oh no, it's an A, but it's a really strong A. Yeah. Yeah, it's a perfect premise, but it's not that S, because it's everything else in A does something better, but this does this better, like the sci-fi concept, right? And the single-person performance piece. Yeah. And it's just so fun, the fact that as far as they take the joke at the end. Like I said, the universe being wrong. Then running away from the universe, collapsing around her. It's such a stupid but it's amazing, right? And she could die. There's no reason to think jumping into that vortex will save her. It's truly a leap of faith, because love.
Yeah. Tab Extra, 50 krona. The Nth Degree, good episode, but might be my last favorite Broccoli episode, or least favorite Broccoli episode. So great in other TNG and Voyager episode. I really like him in this one, actually. I think this is a really fun episode. We get to meet at the end these advanced beings wherever they are, another galaxy, I think. And the build up to get there, him integrating himself into the computer, and this probe that gave him the technology or the intelligence to do all this. I think it's a fascinating concept, and that's how they explore. They bring people to them. They don't go exploring. I think that's really cool, because it's just another version of Starfleet at that point. They're exploring, just doing it in a different way.
Yes, bring you to us. Much safer.
To see a confident Barclay, I kind of wish that character was around more, because I think he would have been a good addition to the team as that, you know? It's kind of a shame that he kind of regressed back to his own.
But he's kind of that in Voyager. Because he's over half more confident, right? So it's more balanced in Voyager.
You know, he's still neurotic,
but I mean, he's not a shell, because he's been picked to be the special, and he's one of the head of the team, and
yeah,
he is part of the zeitgeist, not part of the many team.
Yeah, and also seeing like him working with Albert Einstein on the equations in the holodeck. There's some really cool stuff. Building the computer interface directly into his brain. That was not on a ref file. Well, here's how you build it.
And how did they do laser his head and not be dangerous? Because it's so visceral. It feels so dangerous, like you can't look into it or blind yourself, but it's such a good, real practical effect.
I've got a bunch of laser pointers I can just point them at my head too.
But it's so bold. It's so effective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like this episode. This is a fun one. And in the end, the reveal is like, oh my god, there's these aliens from another galaxy that this is how they explore. They've got such technical knowledge, and it's just kind of like, that's like the the cherry on the top of the episode, but that could have been a whole episode in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like, hey, it's an odd way to end.
The Nth Degree 2. Yeah, this is a really odd episode because I don't know what parts people remember. Because loads of different elements, right? I'm struggling to remember the central element except him going a bit wonky at the end. But that's such a small part, right? Like, it's all about the journey and the performances. Like, I forgot this introduction of the plays, which becomes a huge part of the Riker episode. And it's really fun. And I love this idea. They're doing actual live plays. You've literally got a holodeck. And you're choosing to physically replicate these props, and do a play in real time. But that's so obvious. Of course they would, right? Of course they would. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. And it's really, really fun. Horrible nose, but that's obviously the joke. Good station. Love seeing with Geordie. They've evolved. That's great. And then, he goes crazy, has fun. He becomes better. I'm sure Dwight loved this. I mean, how could he not? Right? And I wish he was in more Trek, because he's just really good at this role. He just suits it. In the end, a bit serial killery.
Yeah.
But it's a good twist, because you could easily justify to kill him because he's gone dangerous, or he's gone rogue, or he's gone law, or they could have gone that way. Think the end of season 1, he's in a chair, phaser him, right? You could have, and then jump to a comedic but not that funny giant floating head with a cute end. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, sweet. This is weird. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just love seeing a charming, confident Barkley. Like he's a likable guy.
Well, I'm saying mid-strong B, sorry. Yeah, it's got a lot of fun. Doesn't quite hit into A. But yeah, plenty strong B.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Really good guest cast this season. Really strong. I mean, they are nailing. And I'm sure at this point, they were all like, can I be on Star Trek? Like, this is now a thing that TNG is so popular and so successful that they're all like, oh, I got Star Trek, says the agent. But we are now over time. Is there anyone you want to put in? Because it'd be such a shame not to briefly talk about. Because we've missed out loads here.
Hold on a second.
Sure thing.
If you want to put one in.
I can jump in? Yeah, let me do one.
We got like 3 minutes, so.
Okay. I'm going to jump in the Ardra episode, because that is a real fun one. Yeah. A non-Q. She's excellent. The trial's excellent. The jokes, the twists, the turns, seeing Feklar. She owns it. Really good sort of, you're not sure which way to go, and it all comes out of tech at the end. She's also a swindler. Great pace. I think it's a trial for the soul of their people, because she owns them because of law. Yeah, really clever. It's all just a clever scam episode. That's all it is. It's really, really effective. Yeah, and at the end it's like, I can do it too, and it makes Earth shatter, earthquake, and phase away, and yeah, a really Star Trek episode in that, they aren't actually super advanced aliens, it's just some lady with a ship.
Yeah, this one feels very TOS-y in that regard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But elevated by the TNG cast.
Yes, absolutely. And Ardra's fantastic. I mean, sexy, sultry.
Good makeup too. Just the look is sharp. I'd say it's an A. I just straight out, I'm like, this is such a fun, well-crafted episode. Yeah,
for sure. I just love all the twists and turns and how like any advanced technology can appear like magic. And it's like, at one point I remember when I was younger going, could she really be like some kind of entity like Q almost?
Or just Apollo.
Yeah.
She was actually that, just not quite as advanced as it could be.
Yeah. But just a charlatan basically that has advanced tech and a ship standing by. And I love the turn where Picard's like, I can do that too. It's great.
Oh, and the fact that Data's the arbiter.
Yeah.
And he can be sort of unbiased, and he would actually rule the right and wrong way. Like, I would say it's a lower A compared to the A's, but I think it absolutely raises above, because it's one of those very like some of the Bs have B plots we forget. This is all A plot, but it's layered A plot. So it's just all building the one thing. So I think this is a solid, like with Remember Me, right? It's a really strong A plot with texture of B plot, but it's all still focused. So that's my throw in to get on the board. Do you have one throw in, Foley? And you can rush through it, it's fine. And when you think
that's probably the one I would have picked. Let's see. I'm gonna go with this one actually. First Contact. This one I really enjoy the hell out of because it's like, what if aliens did show up? How would they be treated? And it's exactly this. It's a government conspiracy. He's put in a hospital, and it's also the dual layer of the Federation making first contact. And before that, they do investigations on the planet. They make sure that the planet's ready, and I think it's really neat. And I love the idea of the aliens undercover among us thing. Like, it would be really cool. And to see how it's handled here is very interesting because it's exactly how it would be handled, I think. And then the fact that you got an alien groupie that wants to have sex with them, and and just how difficult it is to get him out of there. Like, just beam him out, but you can't. Yeah, this is a fun one for me. I really enjoy the premise and the idea of it. I hate that it's called First Contact, but I love that it's called First Contact. It's one of those, right? It's kind of drab set wise because we've got a lot of just the hospital, which is not a very nice looking place, honestly, and the colors are very dark. But and yeah, the tension that's building up around this basically suspicious society about this alien and how that would cause turmoil amongst the population. It's a really great idea. Very fun episode, and yet very insular. It's just Riker. There's a little bit on the Enterprise, but it's not an ensemble piece by any stretch.
Disagree. He's unconscious for over half of it, or like he's in the bed. I mean, you have a lot of Riker and Troy and the president and the science guy and the he's unconscious for most of it, or like.
Yeah, but I mean our cast. Like, there's not a lot really.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely Picard takes over at a certain point. Yeah, it's fine. I disagree with the word fun, but I know how you meant it. Like, it's dour, it's interesting, it's very political, just not our politics. Yes. But it's really striking and sharp, and the cast.
Yeah, you could easily overlay your politics over this, though, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your president is like, it's going to be, we got to let this information out.
But it's conceptual
we got to keep it secret.
Overlay, which is what it works, right?
And then the scientist lady wanting to learn more about, wanting to leave the planet because she hates being confined to this culture because of their paranoia. Yeah. It's so interesting to me. But
the guest cast, the president is so measured, and we loved him at the time because Picard trusts him. They talk to him, and it's like, Blythe, doesn't matter how I feel. My job is to cater for the people, and then there's a huge religious zealot population, and they have a lot of power. There's a reality. It doesn't matter how I feel because I'm a good politician. But that's how that game's played. And he's a wonderful cast, and he tries to commit suicide or by being shot because of politics, and he's saved, and la la la. And then the alien lady's wonderful, and she's so earnest, and it's creepy with Riker and the sex lady, but in a good way. Yeah.
Yes. And I love the ending too. Like, you guys just aren't ready for First Contact at this time, and then the president says, "I don't want First Contact right now. We need to grow." Yep.
Yep. The genie is going back in the bottle.
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, it's a duck blind gone horribly wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's as simple as, what if one of ours gets caught, and everything is just his prosthetics? Yeah. For me, this would be a very high B. I don't know why I'm not Aing it. I think probably because the set design and all the visuals are drab, as you say. If that was elevated, it would raise it. But I think that's just because everything's taken into account, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'd say.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the B for this one. It's my personal enjoyment of it is very high because I see like this is what would go on behind closed doors, and I really it's frustrating, but at the same time, it's totally relatable. And
hello, I'm Rob.
I just want to be contacted by fucking aliens so we can move on with our civilization instead of being stuck where we are. So
fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Again, you could. This is where it's maybe worth at some point doing like a dual list where it's like our personal. I would each rank it individually because like personal preference, enjoyment factor would be a very different list because we might find something we love. But no, I'm happy with this list. That is a very crammed AMB. My goodness.
No S's, which is
wow.
odd.
What's that?
And no S's, which is odd.
But you could argue all of them as S, but then you'd have to argue for more S's.
Yes.
But actually, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the bar being so high, but maybe not one that like is obviously the best. But you could argue for all of them.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Damn.
All right, guys. That's it.
All right.
We're
Wow.
done. We only have like 8, 9 left, but
Well,
that's a lot, actually.
Yeah, that's a lot.
But unfortunately, time is up. And
Yeah.
maybe we'll come back and talk about these at some other point. I don't know.
Maybe. But the poll, 60 votes. Which part of Best Both Worlds is the best? Part 1! 73%. I would agree. But no one has talked about it, so we never got into it. Part 2, I mean.
Yeah.
All right, very fun. Well, tune in for us on Saturday, and then we'll tune in for you as another live next week. Huzzah!
And until then,
Have a great
peace,
weekend.
Commander Cockings.
Have a great weekend. Enjoy your time, etc., etc. Be good. And watch the content, guys. And he's Captain Foley.
Fun. Watch the content. Join us next week.
Yes.
He's Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley. Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.